Greywood was not marked on most maps anymore. If you searched for it online, you would only find outdated census records and a single blurry photograph taken sometime in the late 1980s, a wooden welcome sign half submerged in fog. No tourism pages. No local news. No recent images. Elias Carter arrived there just before sunset. He wasn't looking for Greywood specifically. He was following a trail, a pattern of disappearances stretching across decades. Every case file ended the same way. Missing persons, last seen near water, investigation abandoned. And every trail eventually pointed here. The town felt, paused. Storefronts were open but empty. Curtains moved although there was no wind. People walked slowly, avoiding eye contact, as if acknowledging a stranger might break an unspoken rule. At the center of Greywood lay the lake. Greywood Lake was perfectly still, unnaturally still. No ripples. No birds landing. No insects touching the surface. Elias noticed something else. Every house faced away from the water. That night, at the motel, the elderly owner handed him a key without asking his name. "You shouldn't walk near the lake after dark," she whispered. Elias asked why. The woman hesitated. Then she said quietly. "Because sometimes, it looks back." Sleep didn't come easily. At 2:17 a.m., Elias woke to a low vibration, not a sound exactly, but a pressure inside his skull. The window glass trembled faintly. He stepped outside. The entire town was dark. Except the lake. A pale light pulsed beneath the surface, spreading outward like a slow heartbeat. With every pulse came a distant humming, deep, layered, almost mechanical yet strangely organic. Elias walked closer despite himself. The closer he got, the stronger the feeling became. Memories surfacing that were not his own. Faces. Fear. Cold water filling lungs. Then he heard footsteps behind him. A young woman stood there, pale and tense. "First night?" she asked. Her name was Mara. She had lived in Greywood her entire life. She told him the lake had changed 30 years ago. Lights appeared beneath it. People started dreaming the same dream, walking into the water willingly. Some never came back. Others returned, different. "They forget things," Mara said. "Names. Families. Sometimes who they are." Elias asked why nobody left. Mara looked toward the glowing lake. "We tried." The next day, Elias explored the abandoned side of town. One house stood out, windows boarded, door unlocked. Inside, dust covered everything except one wall. Nails lined the surface where photographs had once hung. On the floor lay a single remaining picture. A crowd gathered at the lake decades earlier, staring into the water. Elias froze. Every person in the photo had the same expression, calm surrender. And among them stood Mara. Unchanged. Same face. Same age. Footsteps creaked behind him. Mara's voice trembled. "You weren't supposed to find that." She confessed the truth slowly. No one in Greywood aged normally anymore. Time moved differently here. The lake had taken something from the town, and replaced it with waiting. "They're not alive," she whispered. "They're," paused. That night, the humming grew louder. And the light beneath the lake brightened. Storm clouds gathered though no weather had been predicted. The entire town walked toward the lake in silence. Doors opened. Lights turned on. People moved as if summoned. Mara grabbed Elias's arm. "It's calling again." The water began to rise without waves, lifting like glass bending upward. Shapes moved beneath the surface, enormous shadows circling slowly. Elias realized the humming wasn't coming from the lake. It was coming through it. Like a signal. A memory struck him suddenly. Old case files mentioning military equipment transported near Greywood decades ago. Experimental sonar. Deep earth resonance testing. Something had answered. The surface cracked open with silent precision. A column of light rose into the sky. And for a moment, Elias understood. The lake was not a place. It was a doorway. Several townspeople walked into the water calmly. They did not drown. They vanished into the light. Moments later, figures emerged again, but wrong somehow. Movements delayed, smiles slightly misaligned with emotion. Copies. Perfect, but empty. Mara whispered the truth she had hidden. Years ago, she entered the lake too. She remembered floating in endless darkness while something examined her memories one by one. When she returned, the town accepted her. But she never felt alone again. It learns from us, she said. It practices being human. The light intensified. Elias felt thoughts slipping away, childhood memories fading at the edges. The lake was rewriting them. Realizing escape was impossible, Elias made a decision. If the entity learned through memory, he would deny it understanding. He walked toward the water willingly. Mara screamed, but he continued. As the light surrounded him, he focused on chaos, fragmented thoughts, contradictions, unfinished memories. Confusion. Fear. Noise. The humming faltered. For the first time, the lake reacted unpredictably. The light shattered outward, collapsing back into the depths. Silence returned. Morning came. The lake looked ordinary again. The townspeople stood confused, as if waking from a long dream. Mara searched for Elias. He was gone. Days later, travelers passing Greywood reported something strange. At night, beneath the water, a faint silhouette could be seen walking slowly along the lakebed. Watching. Waiting. And sometimes, when the surface reflects just right, it looks like the figure is trying to warn whoever is looking back.